On the go? Download the free andrewhogue.com iPhone and Android app, so we'll never be apart.
This is andrewhogue.com, still Australia's first and only 24/7 metal radio station. KNOTFEST is fast approaching, and I'm sure this man is kicking himself knowing that he's going to be on that plane very soon to come to Australia and also perform some shows, not just on the KNOTFEST festival, but also with Lamb of God. Let's welcome Kyle Anderson, frontman for the group, wearing a Prince Purple Rain shirt, to the program. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for having me.
And let's talk a bit about of course, arrival very soon for Brand of Sacrifice to Australia. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, first time in Oz?
First time ever, both personally and for the band.
Okay. And I know there's so many bands that have toured Australia the last probably several years, excluding the COVID times, and we're kind of, that tsunami's coming again. Have you had much feedback from other bands that you know that have been to Australia? Most will always say it's awesome. It's kind of like a mixture of Canada and America, and you get to hang out with koalas and shit. But what are you looking forward to most about it?
I'm looking forward to some rowdy crowds full of people ready to have a good time and have some fun. Okay. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. That's for sure. That's what I hear. It's a great crowd specifically.
Now, music aside, as a tourist, what are things that you're looking to try and, check out? Because it's going to be a bit of a whirlwind of a trip, sort of straight in, straight out, a lot of shows. Is there any time off in between that you can do a couple of things that you've got on that list?
We'll have to see, but what every American or Canadian says, you got to see some koalas, kangaroos,
yeah,
all the good stuff. Maybe try some interesting foods and whatnot, but mostly I think the music's going to be the main focus.
Now, you guys are relatively, I guess, a young sort of band, formed around 2018. So, I mean, 2 albums in, a couple of EPs, and I guess, do you ever think back of what bands were doing pre-internet? Because it's quite easy to get your name out there on the internet. The hardest thing is to try and make a solid impact because there's so much noise out there. But do you ever sort of reflect when you see bands that have just been around pre that time and how different it was to a band in this era? Is there anything that you think, wow, I wish we could have done it like that? Or it's just how it is for you guys in this sort of age?
I like the idea of, you see billboards here and there, but they're more of a point for optics on social media,
yep,
rather than actually being a tool for promotion. Actual physical show flyers, handing those out, having street teams, CDs that or 7-inches. These things that people kind of take for granted now. I would have thought that would be kind of a fun experience, adding that physical aspect to the promotion and the DIY lifestyle and approach. So I think that would have been very interesting to be a part of. And I'm the kind of guy who likes to design things and create flyers. And, I have a clothing brand as well, and I do a lot of the designing for that. So I think that side of things would have been very cool to be a part of.
And let's talk a bit about, I know people talk, at least when we talk about physical products of artists, everyone talks about vinyls coming back, but in the sense, I think the world, we're just so comfortable and convenient that there's only a niche amount of folks that would be taking that route of wanting that kind of stuff. That's why a lot of these things get put out limited edition wise. When we talk about the past, when it was just, that was the only option, I guess, folks didn't know any different. Have you considered trying to bring something of that back, just as an experiment to see how your fans might respond to?
I think it could be cool to sort of recreate that vibe for maybe like an album campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And you order the record, you get like a flyer that looks like something that's vintage from the 80s or 90s at a small venue in your local area. I think something like that could be really cool. Maybe cassettes that's coming back too. I think those are
Yep.
fun. Don't sound the best, but it is a cool medium. It's something physical that you can hold on to. And I think that's, people are going to start to realize that, owning something digitally, you don't really own it. You know, something happens and you lose that data, that's it. But if you own something physically, it has that long lasting value and connection, and something you can pass on to people that you want to share that music with, whether it's family or friends, things like that. So, yeah, I think that'd be cool to sort of have almost like a campaign around a new album that has aspects of the past kind of combined within it.
Talk about genres. Now, I know that the media and labels are heavily to blame for that. And we look at the world of heavy metal with the, 900 flavors now of subgenres and things like that. Now, a lot of folks have lumped you into that sort of deathcore scene. And I remember I've known the folks from Suicide Silence for quite a number of years. And I remember chatting with Mark, and he's like, dude, I don't even know what deathcore is. Yet that they were just lumped into that sort of genre. So how do you feel about the whole sort of labeling of where you fit in the musical climate of heavy metal, so to speak?
I think that I'll let the fan do what the fan does.
Yep.
And people like to put things in categories because it makes it easier to understand and grasp, and maybe even tell a friend. So if that works for people, for them to get on board and listen to the music, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I remember at one point that genre of music that was progressive metal having the title of gent. People
Yes.
didn't like that.
That was ridiculous.
But you know what it is?
Mhm.
That made it easy for people to understand and grasp which bands are that style. So fine, if they want to do that, then I'm cool with it. I'm never going to be one of those guys who hates how people categorize things or is stuck in the ways or gatekeeping or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, that's what the consumer wants. So I'll let them do what they want to do.
And as I mentioned at the top,
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, as I mentioned at the top, being a newish sort of band to the scene, you've got scope to grow and progress and change sounds. And I'm finding a lot of bands, newish sort of artists, are really mixing it up after their second or third album, because tastes are so rampant today, because so many different bands are doing so many different things, and there's so much music out there. And again, most artists I speak to in the metal world aren't always listening to metal, so they're just grabbing all different stuff. So you hear a lot of hybrid sort of things happening in the sounds of metal and how much it's expanding and things like that. So how do you see the sort of, I guess, path of progression for Brand of Sacrifice when it comes to writing music? Is everyone sort of collaborating equally, or is it's Kyle's way or the highway?
So it's always been primarily written by myself and Leo, the guitar player / producer. We've had other bands together and whatnot. And our favorite bands have always been hybrids of genres. One of my favorite bands ever is Linkin Park, which is a hybrid of a bunch of things: do metal, rap, rock, pop, all those things coming together. I think the band is already a bit of a hybrid as it stands. Deathcore is what people say we are, but there's a lot of other metal genres happening there. And so I think we'll definitely add more to the list of genres that we add to the music, because that's just what we do. We write what we want to listen to. So
do you ever check out any Japanese metal bands? Because they are literally throw everything in, including the kitchen sink, and that kind of just goes,
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here?
I'm a big fan of that, actually.
Yeah.
I like that band Crystal Lake. We just did a tour with them in August Burns Red right before Christmas. And there's a bunch of other up and coming Japanese bands that just go absolutely crazy. So I'm all here for it.
Awesome. Well, we'll check out the tour dates just quickly here, because you've got a side show you're doing with Lamb of God, 2 side shows, in fact, which is awesome. And that is on Wednesday, the 20th of March at the Northcote Theatre, and then on Monday, the 25th of March at Eaton's Hill Hotel in Brisbane. Now, looking at the lineup, what are some of the bands that you are looking forward to seeing, and any specific members that you're hoping to get a selfie for the gram?
Lamb of God's definitely a favorite, and if we're talking selfies for the gram, probably be Randy for sure, and that from that standpoint. But I've never seen Disturbed, and I really want to see Down with the Sickness live. I'm ready for that, and obviously Pantera are pioneers and OGs, and so that's something I need to see. And I've never seen Wage War, so I'd like to see them. Thyroid is Murder, they're boys. I haven't seen them with the new singer though. So
yeah,
those are the ones I can think of off the top of the head.
That's going to be interesting as well. So, all right, we can get you to choose one of your favorite songs from the last record, Lifeblood. Now, when do you think there'll be more new music dropping for the group? Sometime this year?
I think this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this year. As far as Lifeblood goes, it's going to be the song Lifeblood, the title track for sure. That one's the most fun to play live, definitely.
Awesome. We'll look forward to having the band in Oz for the very first time and start filling up that list of things to do and cram it all in.
I'll have to start writing it down.
Absolutely. Let's check out some Brand of Sacrifice here on andrewhogue.com. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.